The wood is already closed when the square begins to gather. Her wrists are fixed in the oak before most of the town has finished breaking bread. The upper board presses down against bone, the lower board holds her weight, and the iron hinge binds both together with a sound that does not echo, only settles. Her dress has been cut open at the front, not stripped away entirely. The linen shift beneath clings thin against her skin, split just enough to deny concealment. The magistrate does not look at her face. He looks at the crowd. The pillory stands in the center of the market square, where grain is weighed and contracts are sealed. It is not hidden near the gallows beyond the walls. It is placed where trade and judgment meet. Cobblestones still hold the dampness of morning. A cart of onions waits nearby. A butcher sharpens his knife, the scrape of metal slow and deliberate. No one announces her crime. They already know it. In towns across the Holy Roman Empire, from Augsburg to Lübeck, municipal codes listed offenses that demanded visibility rather than blood, adultery, fornication, bearing a child without lawful union. The punishment was not death, it was exposure. A stone strikes the platform. It is thrown without force, more signal than attack. A boy laughs. A woman folds her arms tightly across her chest as if shielding herself from proximity. The beadle steps back, boots heavy, leaving her alone in the frame of wood. Whispers spread that she was seen beyond the vineyard after sunset, that a traveling merchant shared her bed while her husband counted coin at the city gate. According to servants in a nearby household, her laughter carried too freely through an open window. Yet many believe such details swell after judgment, shaped to justify what has already been decided. What cannot be disputed is the cut in her bodice. It was done in the town hall chamber before dawn. Cloth parted with a short knife, precise and controlled. The intent was not nakedness. It was vulnerability made visible. In certain cities of France, women convicted of moral offenses were paraded bareheaded through the streets. In parts of England, placards naming sin were hung around the neck. Here, in this German town, fabric is opened and restraint does the rest. The sun climbs higher. Heat gathers beneath the torn wool. Sweat forms along her ribs. The linen darkens, adhering to the shape the court has chosen to display. Flies find the moisture quickly. She cannot lift her hands to brush them away. Her shoulders burn where wood grinds against skin. Hours pass without instruction. A man approaches close enough to see her breath tremble. He studies the exposed line of her collarbone, not with hunger, but with appraisal. The punishment functions because it transforms a body into a lesson. The square absorbs it. It is said in neighboring villages that some women faint within the first hour, that others scream until hoarse. One chronicler later insisted that a woman once tore free and ran half-naked through the market before being dragged back. Modern scholars doubt the tale, suggesting embellishment meant to dramatize civic authority. She does not faint. The magistrate remains beneath the shadow of the town hall balcony. His gloved hands rest folded at his waist. The beadle watches the crowd more than the woman. Order must be maintained, even in humiliation. A rotten apple bursts against the wood near her hip. The juice runs downward, sticky and sweet. Laughter follows, louder now. A child mimics her stance, arms extended, wrists pressed together as though bound. Adults do not correct him. Clouds move across the sky. In Strasbourg, records speak of women forced to stand in shifts alone while priests recited psalms. In Nuremberg, some offenders had their hair shorn afterward, a mark that lasted longer than bruises. There were rumors of towns where garments were removed entirely, though documentation wavers between law and spectacle. This town chooses the middle ground. Exposure without total undressing. The calculation is deliberate. By afternoon, the wind changes. Rain begins as a fine mist. It settles on her shoulders first, then soaks through wool and linen alike. Fabric that once hinted now reveals. The outline of her body sharpens under water, every contour defined not by intent, but by gravity. The crowd shifts closer. It is whispered that storms during punishment signal divine displeasure. The magistrate offers no comment. The beetle does not move to cover her. Rain runs down her spine. Mud thickens around the platform. Torches are prepared as the light begins to fade. The market continues at the edges. Coins change hands. Meat is weighed. Life does not pause for shame. At some point, her knees begin to tremble. The wood holds her upright. That is its purpose, to support endurance, to prevent collapse until the appointed hour. In Paris, a century earlier, women accused of adultery were sometimes led through streets in torn garments, a rope binding their wrists. In London's Bridewell, public exposure accompanied confinement and labor. Across regions, the method differed, but the principle remained constant. The body must carry the message. The rain intensifies. Linen clings transparent against skin. The cut in her bodice widens under the weight of water. What had been a controlled reveal becomes unavoidable clarity. Some in the crowd avert their gaze, not out of modesty, but because the line between punishment and violation narrows under stormlight. The magistrate lifts one hand. The signal is small. The beetle steps forward. Keys strike against one another with a metallic rhythm. The lock resists for a moment, swollen by rain. Then it opens. The upper board rises, her arms fall. She collapses to her knees on the platform, breath torn from her chest, hair plastered across her face. For a single heartbeat, she is no longer upright, no longer example, only weight returning to itself. She is released. No proclamation follows. No declaration of lesson learned. The crowd disperses slowly, carrying fragments of her image into alleys and kitchens. Doors will close differently now. Voices will lower when she passes. In the weeks that follow, the pillory stands empty. It does not need constant use. The memory of soaked linen against exposed skin travels faster than decree. Mothers warn daughters without naming her. Men reference the square without detail. The instrument becomes more powerful in absence than in action. Years later, when another woman is accused, the wood is inspected, bolts tightened, hinges oiled. The prior punishment is recalled as precedent, not as cruelty, as necessity. Some accounts claim that such exposure reduced repeat offenses. Others suggest resentment deepened beneath compliance. Records rarely capture what festers after release. The pillory remains at the center of town. Wood darkens with age. Iron gathers rust. Generations pass through the square, buying grain, selling cloth, attending festivals. Yet the space retains an invisible outline where one body once stood open to weather and gaze. Public shame requires no blade. It leaves no scar that cannot be hidden beneath clothing. And yet it lingers longer than rope. When the market empties at dusk and the church bell counts the hour, the pillory faces the open space where eyes once gathered, silent and patient. If the threat alone is enough to bend a body before it ever touches the wood, was the punishment meant for the woman at all?